Can music be a living thing? Welcome to the Jeremiah Show, by the way. Can music have color? Can you see it? It can certainly be felt. I feel music. I know you've probably feel music. So I believe that the others could be true too. Synesthesia is when you hear music, but you see shapes, or you hear a word or a name and you instantly see a color. Synesthesia occurs when you experience one of your senses through another. It translates to perceive together. I like that. So, nearing the anniversary of my friend Anne Heche's death, I've been thinking a lot about something that happened while I was hanging out with her. I was staying in a hotel in downtown San Francisco. I was in my hotel room on a high floor, but with no view. My view was blocked by the building next to me. I was texting with Anne, who was in her apartment at the Georgian in downtown LA. A soft, sad jazz song with a trumpet blowing a lonely note played from the bedside radio. And out the window, a tall brick building blocked out the sun. But it was casting these beautiful blue shadows on the alley and on the opposite wall. And the shadows turned my room blue. It was around 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the afternoon. And this was the only color I could see now. I quickly snapped pictures of the wall and the shadows and the colors, and I sent them to Anne. And as my pictures were going out, pictures from Anne came in at the same time. Her pictures were of a building outside her window, also cast in blue shadows. And neither of us had spoken of the beautiful blue from our windows, and without words, we had sent the same photos of the same blue bricks. Gave me a chill, but it was also very cool. And it made me think of that moment today as I listened to the Bridles' new album, my special guest today. And it took me back to Los Angeles and blue buildings and gold buildings and alleyways and sitting on a roof at night and overlooking Santa Monica, being up in the canyons and looking at the lights of the city. This is what this album made me feel like and brought back. So, can music inspire feelings to be colored the same and shared with a friend hundreds of miles away? I've thought a lot, like I said, about those photos and that strange experience that I shared with Anne. Music does this, doesn't it? Can music be a mood? Can music be a mood? I think so. Bridal's new album, Visions of Future, is a mood. It is a wet painting of the songwriter's life in introspect, still drying out her feelings. Painfully honest, but incredibly powerful, poignant, timeless. The music sweeps in like a winter storm and leaves you cleansed and standing in the sun afterwards, triumphant, and a puddle at your feet. Welcome, Kara and Andrew.
Hey, thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
And thank you for sharing that beautiful story. It's like, that was really special to hear. And I'm really thankful for sharing that.
Yeah, you're welcome. And thank you for letting me take up some of your show here, telling about the story. The reason I brought it up is because your album this morning, I listened to it while I put together everything here for the interview today, and I just let it play over and over. And there's a couple songs that I really connected with, and one of them right off the bat turned my vision blue. I mean, it brought back, like I said, those snapshots and then that story. And that's the only other time that I can think where that's happened. I mean, I don't know if it's if it's brought on myself or how it happens, but it was powerful. The music is powerful and brought visions of color and ideas back to life. So thank you for your music.
Yeah,
And
I'm so glad it had that effect.
and congratulations before we go in here on the album. This is your first full album, right?
Yeah, it's our first full album. Andrew, has a solo project and he's put out a couple albums, but us working together and, myself, this is our first album and it feels incredible. It's been like over almost 2.5 years in the making. And yeah, it's just the amount of work that went into it and time and energy spent and lessons learned has been a really challenging but incredible experience for both of us.
The listener, if they haven't heard it yet, the album, they're in for a real treat as far musically. But the album feels very personal, and was it cathartic in a way for you, for both of you? I'm not sure who the lyricist is, but it, was it freeing? Not
Yeah,
only freeing because you've probably been thinking about creating an album all your life, right? Or as long as you've been playing separately or on your own, but was it also freeing in that way? Is that you got it out, you created this living beautiful thing?
yeah, definitely. It's and yeah, I wrote all the lyrics and Andrew did all the music, and for me it is this like a huge challenge of life circumstances and situations, and verbally it can be hard to communicate those things, but I find in songwriting and lyrics and poetry I'm able to fully express those feelings that I have inside, and it's like this channel that allows me to get these things out. And the beauty of then what Andrew brings to that is this music, and he really just captures the emotions that I'm feeling. And it's like he just listens to my, recording or like my vocals and then is able to just like tap into this magic and bring to life these like notes and chord progressions that really just capture all of that energy. And like synergistically, it, like you said, it has this mood, and it just, to me, it's so incredible to now like have my lyrics have this like place in this like musical world. And I mean, I love listening to the album because it is like a very cathartic experience for me, and also empowering and like uplifting.
Yeah, I mean, my description was probably overly dramatic, but I did feel like, wow, it's the dark winter storms coming through and blowing you around, and you come out though, maybe a little bit wet but happy and standing in a puddle with the sunshine. That's how the album takes you in all these different directions, right?
Yeah.
Um, Lyrically and musically, you're right. I mean, Andrew really has a gift. If he's the musician in the duo that takes your lyrics and then helps uh, you know frame those in the music and bring them to life. uh, Great job, Andrew.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, not only is he the, musician and, has arranged all of the instruments, but, he's done all the mixing and the mastering and, all the sound. And like anytime we have any technical issues, he is just there and figures it out and has made this entire process so much easier.
Yeah, I think about it as Kara's pointed us in a certain direction, and with I don't know, with our music, I like to cram as much as will fit in like a reasonable sense. And once you get all the pieces in place, you can like feel them snap in and they lock in your vocals. And that's when it's like, okay, this is now complete.
Well, I want to get to how you guys met in this and explore this a little, the really great partnership that you have, I guess, if that's the right word, the artistic creativity that you share together. It feels very special, and that translates to the music, but it must be, you got to have a lot of trust in the other person. And I know So don't give it away how you met, because I know how you met, but we're going to get to that in just a second. I wanted to explore this collaboration just a little bit before we go there.
Yeah.
So you two are described as an alchemical pairing. There's more to that description, but I got stuck on the alchemical pairing idea. So do you believe that two people can have an alchemical connection that draws them together in this world?
You want me to take that?
Sure.
I definitely do. I have a very spiritual outlook on the world and the universe, and very much into energy, and like energy attracts like energy. And it feels like, or felt like, and still does, but when Andrew and I connected and we did start making music together, it was just this kind of feeling of magic. And when we would get into the jam zone, and even just like in the beginning, we would just do like my, singing and him on acoustic guitar, and it would just like go off into like the ethers. And it just felt like this very special connection that really kind of doesn't even fit into the physical world. Like it felt like a very much like a more of a like deep spiritual connection than anything else.
Hmm. In your story, do you think that you guys met just in time when you both needed the connection in your lives?
Yeah, I've been looking for a musical partner for a long time, and it's tough to find that it's kind of like puzzle pieces that snap into place. And everything certainly worked, and it felt like that was undeniable for us when we
Yeah.
started.
As musicians, how long had you both played on your own before you met? How many years had you
I feel like I've
been?
been practicing guitar for like 20 years, and then
Yeah.
probably 7 or 8 working on production, and everything's sort of been practiced to get to this point where when somebody's looking for a producer, I say, "Oh yeah, I can do that. Like whatever you need,
Yeah.
like I'll fill in the gaps."
How
And
about you,
I had
Kara?
absolutely zero knowledge of music. Like my brother's a musician, and I had access to instruments, and would like play some keys on the keyboard, but like I didn't know what like chords were really. Like I was, yeah. Andrew was the
How long
perfect
had you been
person.
singing for?
I mean forever. Like
Yeah. So
I was
there's
just
your
one of those
instrument.
it's just one of those things where it's like, you're like told when you're young, like you're not good, and you kind of shut that part of yourself down. But
Who told you you weren't good?
like family members.
Oh no. Let me talk to them.
uh as
You're
as a
good.
as a writer, thank you. As a writer, like I've always written, and I have, like written little songs here and there, but it was always just these melodies in my head. And that was kind of like the magic too in making this album, is like when Andrew and I did connect, I just had all of these voice recordings and lyrics and stuff. And so his like job was basically to find the chords that matched with the lyrics, and then it was like building everything on top of that. But yeah, thinking about it too, like some of the songs on the album were written like after we started working together, and kind of like through the process of us working on other songs and stuff. So
Have
yeah.
you ever thought, either of you, have you ever thought or even talked about it between, both of you, that you, Carrie, you were singing all your life, but maybe didn't have the confidence, or said, I don't know the music. I don't know how to write sheet music or read sheet music or play an instrument all the way. And then Andrew is practicing his craft and learning not only the musician side, but also the engineering side. But neither of you really, doesn't sound like, took that leap to like make a single or an album until you met each other. And that took a lifetime for both of you almost, right?
Yeah.
So
I mean,
Have you
Andrew
thought about like what happened where poof, here we are and now we speak each other's language.
yeah, and I definitely feel like when we're playing music together, that is the best way of us communicating. It's really just like speaking in this like non-verbal way.
Yeah. Amazing. Well, it really comes out in this album. We're going to take our first break here. We're going to go to break though with Maybe. Is there anything that either of you would like to say about Maybe?
This is actually one of our favorite songs, and it was supposed to be the last song on the album, but it ended up being the first, and it kind of just one of those things where it felt like, yes, it was supposed to be first in the way it just draws you in, and it has like a lot of kind of pain and sadness in it, but also has this very positive and empowering message.
The feeling of like, it's time to blast off.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
definitely.
You're probably going to hate me, but I'd like to read a couple of lyrics that I thought were so powerful. Do you mind?
Yeah, of
Sure.
course.
Because I love this song too. So left here all alone, which way do I go? I don't know. Lock myself up all alone. I do this to myself, fight my way down to hell. Why do this to myself? Can I fully let go of the life I grew to know, the places I didn't go, all the things that kept me low? I mean, that is so good. And I think that who hasn't had those thoughts in some way and the doubt. And so the song's called Maybe. That's beautiful. We're going to listen to it right now. We'll be right back. My special guest today on the show, on the Jeremiah show, is Bridles. Visions of Future is the first full album by Bridles. It was released on June 28th. Get the special Bandcamp edition while you can. Limited, high dynamic range at Bridles on Bandcamp. You can go to bridles/band.bandcamp.com. Again, the album is Visions of Future. The Bridles' new music video for Roads dropped today. It's out now. You can find the video on their YouTube channel at Bridles_band. It's BRIDLES_band. And we'll be right back.